I'm here for Gamereactor, and we are playing Titanfall, and we are speaking with Joel.
Hello. How's it going?
Titanfall is, as all we know, is a big games with robots, and you shoot each other, and it's a lot of fun, really. And for quite a while now, you have got the alpha going. Yeah. And what has the biggest feedback you've gotten for alpha?
For alpha, I think it was supposed to be a closed alpha, so it got out. But the goal of the alpha was to start stress testing the system on a smaller scale, which would lead up to the beta, which is a larger scale stress test. And it's really, we have these dedicated servers with the cloud servers with Microsoft, and it was an effort to really get in there, get in the code, start sharpening it up, working out the kinks and the bugs. And at the same time, we had some stuff where even in the alpha, we were able to go in and calibrate the weapons a little bit here and there. And I think that's what the beta and the alpha and the beta really give us. It gives us the opportunity to get it out to a group of people that are interested in the game and let them play it and hear some feedback, and then try as best we can get that into the game to help things along.
Yeah, okay. What's the main improvements you've done to the beta version of the game?
Oh, from alpha to beta?
Yeah.
I think one thing is visual improvement. Since we did a small alpha, we weren't. The goal of the alpha was to test the servers. The game was running at a lower, what we call a PicMip level, which is a lower resolution on the textures. So right away, when you get into the beta, what you'll see is, which I think is super cool. The game has a scaling fix from Microsoft that helps it scale up better and cleaner. And you're seeing PicMip 0 textures now, which are the actual at-res textures of the characters. So we work in powers of 2 on the textures. So just to give you an example of the difference between the textures on alpha and beta. The alpha, you're looking at, let's say, a 512 texture on on an asset. In the beta, you're looking at a 4 times as large 1024 texture now. So there's a good visual improvement. Obviously, there's some great improvements that got into the beta based on the alpha server-wise. It's just everything's getting cleaner, and it'll get even cleaner to the actual game release.
What about the Titans and pilots? Is it like a linear skill-based game, or do you have the means to upgrade and customize your character and Titans?
Yeah, we have a meta game. One of the new things that we're showing here today that I talked about before were these burn cards. So the burn cards are like these tactical abilities that you get in the game that you can earn by doing different things like escaping the environment, using a weapon a lot. Like you favor a weapon, you'll get a burn card that's an amped version of that weapon, and that's basically a 1 lifetime use. So 1 life per burn card. So if you die using it, you have to go get a new or earn a new burn card to fill that. But you can fill basically a deck in your inventory of burn cards, and then pick them out of the deck when you're in the lobby, like waiting for the next round, and put them in one of 3 slots, and then go into the game and decide when to use them. So that's on top of the leveling up your pilot. You've got pilot abilities, pilot gear, weapons, attachments for the pilot weapons, and then you have to look at the Titans as like a giant walking weapons platform that you can also upgrade and unlock different weapons for, different modifications for the weapons, abilities. Each Titan, we have 3 of them. We're only showing 1 in the beta, which is the Atlas. But when you get the full game, you're looking at each Titan has what we call a core ability. It's built into the personality and tactical style of the Titan. And what we're seeing here is the Atlas. It's called a damage core. And each Titan will have its own core ability that's different and suits its personality and play style.
Okay. Then you have the Atlas, you have the Augur, you have the Strider.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you have any more Titans planned?
Those are the ones we're showing and we're shipping with. So those are the Titans. Yeah, we had to work really hard to make sure that those guys were well balanced against each other.
Okay. Yeah. The parkour elements, they are really interesting. They are kind of fluent and very arcade. It doesn't take much effort to jump around. I was at first quite. I was worried that it would be hard, like a lot of buttons to maneuver around. But it is just 1 button action. You jump around and it's really arcade. So. Well, in which means can you improve the parkour elements? Can you upgrade your parkour elements? You can jump further with an upgrade, or
Yeah, we have some stuff in the beta. It's a parkour kit that helps you do. You can stick on the wall longer. Basically, we have stuff like that helps augment or increase the playstyle of the character, the pilot. You know, we have similar elements that go with the Titans that you'll unlock as you go. But yeah, you can. I mean, I think it's a pro move, but there's a trick you can do as a pilot where if you jump onto a wall and hit the ADS button, the aim down sight button, you can actually throw a data knife into the wall and stick to the wall for a little while, which is kind of cool when you want to kind of hide up in the rafters and wall hang. You know, and
that sounds kind of advanced. You couldn't do that in real life, man.
No, but this is Titanfall. This is kick-ass crazy. You know, it's like these future ninjas that are able to do this crazy stuff. So, I mean, we have stuff in the game that explains that stuff. I mean, you can't survive a 200-foot fall out of ejecting out of a Titan and landing, but we took some stuff into the game artistically and effects-wise to make sure that, you know, there's a little bit of fringe science that supports things like that, where the jump kit that the pilots wear has a gravity well in it. And even if you look at a pilot that's just basically wall running, you'll notice that the jump kit has little thrusters built into it, and you'll notice that when they're running against a wall like this, the thruster will be working harder out of the right side of the pilot to kind of visually ground the pilot into the wall run itself and kind of make it sell it.
So you can make like tactical to maybe see that someone is thrusting towards a Titan. Yeah.
I mean, I think what's really cool, like one of our biggest focuses in the game, I think Titanfall is really big on personality. Yeah. And so, you know, one of the things that I really like about the game that I'm really happy with is we have an insanely you know, everybody's super kick-ass at the company. I'm super humbled all the time, but we have an insanely awesome sound department. They did an awesome job making the weapons have like a real personality audio-wise in the landscape. So if you shoot me from the other side of the environment, I can immediately, once you take that first shot, once I play the game a little bit, anybody who plays it can kind of start identifying what they're being shot at with based on the sonics of what's happening out there. So I think that's a really, you know, we also artistically made sure each gun, every weapon, every pilot has a personality to it that goes with the sounds as well.
So yeah, the sound is great. It's very spot on, as you would say. But what about the music?
I think what's amazing about the music in Titanfall is it really makes the environment feel, especially in campaign multiplayer, you're getting this very theatrical, awesome experience, and you know, through the audio in the environment plus the score that goes with it, it really helps sell this theatrical vibe that's going on. You feel epic when you get into a Titan. The music changes, so you feel empowered by that sound that happens with it. So the music just complements all the sound effects in the game and the visuals that are happening. It works really well for the hardcore gamers. They can turn that down if they don't want. If they think it's getting in their way, which can happen with the pro players, they can go ahead and dial it down a little bit if they want to.
Yeah. And like I noticed the dramaturgy of the matches. Like you begin by jumping in from a ship, yeah. And then if you lose the game, you gotta escape by the ship, and the same as you win. Mm-hmm. Is that like an overlapping thing in the story? You like play the same character and he or she develops, and it's like branches on in that case.
The character classes, the visuals of the class is just basically there to support the type of weapon that you've chosen. So if you're running a long gun like a sniper weapon or a marksman weapon, we have a marksman body type pilot that will go with that. And you can also decide if you want that pilot to be female, change your, like have a different look to it. You can do that as well, but we have three types of pilot visually that we were trying to sell. We're trying to work in like a grammar, like a visual language into, if you have an art asset like an assault rifle pilot, we tended to keep those pilots with masks and keep their identity kind of like this battle rifle vibe. So if you pick certain weapons will be reflected by the look of the pilot. So the close quarter weapons, we thought we would go for visual faces, and then you get into the marksman weapons. They've got more of like a hooded kind of a vibe, like a sniper vibe. They're kind of creepy looking, but that's how we approached it. And that's the visual side of it. And then as far as the pilots go, you're following, like if you start working on a gun, you're following the life of the gun and unlocking attachments for it. But as your pilot in the game, you're kind of one pilot. You have these custom classes you can work with, and you're opening up gear and attributes and attachments on one path, and you can migrate that into your different custom loadouts.
Yeah, and what about? I do like the aesthetics of the game. It's kind of this steampunking, but still industrial look. A lot of cloth on the pilots, and it's very not organic. It's industrial.
Earthly.
Yeah, earthly.
Yeah,
it's like you just want pipes blowing out like gasoline and stuff. So what's the main the source of that look?
Yeah, the art department at Respawn has a firm footing at the gun range. We go and we shoot. Where some of us own shoot for sport, go clay shooting. So we have an understanding of military hardware, as well as we've come from different parts of the industry and bring an understanding of mil-spec hardware and how it works, tanks and planes and stuff like that, and as well as a healthy amount of research. And then we brought that into Titanfall to support the idea of making things feel more more hyper-real, realistic, grounded. We also wanted to create a used, lived-in universe that helps build a bridge visually for people to kind of step into a more of a familiar environment, so that when they're grappling with all these new gameplay elements, that they have one leg in reality for them that's familiar to start with. But we're inspired by anime, manga, different movies, District 9, Blade Runner, even go back to Star Wars, where even on the Titans, we were looking at surface treatment, like adding cloth and covers to the Titans so that you have shiny parts, and basically creating a readable visual language that has different surface properties, so your eye can rest on things, and you can look at a Titan and see where its legs are, which is really important. A lot of that stuff you can over detail, and it can get away from you sometimes. So that also goes into the amount of dirt that you put on it. Like any self-respecting future soldier in the Titanfall universe will go home to their spaceship or their settlement somewhere out in the frontier, and they'll go in there, they'll oil and they'll field strip their weapon and take care of it. And our art assets, like the weapons themselves, even the Titans, have that vibe where they're used, but they're not covered in crap. They look maintained.
And then you mentioned that pro players would turn down the volume of the music and stuff. On that note, will you be pushing for esports?
There's been a lot of interest in esports that we've been hearing. We're definitely listening to everybody. Our focus right now is shipping Titanfall, at the highest quality we possibly can ship. We knew our date, we had to hit it. It was a matter of scoping the game to the game that we could make successfully and bring it to the market solid. With that being said, we intend to support the game after launch, and we're listening to a lot of people talk about esports and features that they would need to do that. So we will see what we can do. It's definitely on our radar.
You kind of hope that the community will catch on and maybe do their own tournaments, and it just catches up.
Yeah.
I mean, it should, because it is really arcade. Like Call of Duty and Battlefield has a scene for that. So maybe you will compete within it.
Yeah, hopefully it's on our radar. Right now we're focused on releasing, and then we intend to support afterwards. So,
apart from the Titans, what were your main means of differentiating you from other first-person shooters on the market?
Yeah, we introduced AI into the environment, which I think you have to play to understand, but there was a fine balance of AI happening in the environment to
the grunts, or was
and the specters, and the AI of your own Titan, which you can actually get an upgrade for and make him smarter. So all of that is calibrated into this living, breathing environment that half of it wants to help you, half of it wants to kill you, and then you layer in the other pilots that are real people and put them in the mix. So I think what Titanfall does is we're essentially building two games in one with the Titan and the pilot, and then there's a third ground game that's happening with this living, breathing environment that you can use to your advantage, and you can use it to advance your character. I think there's a lot of cool opportunities happening within those elements all together. If you put them together as like this, I kind of say it's like an orchestra with different pieces that makes this good, awesome song. So
it might be, but in means of it feels very big scale. although it's only six people per team. Like, and that's because of the AI players. You mean, no?
We came to that number based on fun. So there were times when Titanfall was so full of there were too many players in the environment, and I know that the immediate response when people hear me say that is, oh, why don't you just make the levels bigger? Or can't you make the levels bigger? Yeah, we can, but that doesn't change the fact that you've got a giant 20-foot tall walking character that can walk around the environment being driven by a real person, or it can have it's an auto Titan. So it has to, they need maneuverability in the environment. So the more Titans and players you stack into environment, the bigger and more unbelievable you have to make the streets and the draws that the choke points in the environment, to a level where, if you had too many players in there, you almost get physically exhausted after one round. So we were working towards finding the perfect balance of actual players in the environment plus the AI that's occupying the environment as well. It's just this perfect combo. You got to find it, and we did.
Yeah, it's good talk. And on that note, we will end this. So it's been a pleasure.
Thank you for coming.